Now, I've not done one of these for quite a long time now, a Q&A in the Q&A playlist, but we get asked this question a lot, so I'm going to ask this particular question. It's a question that gets asked by non-Christians quite a lot, so I'm going to ask this question to another Christian, and Adam here is going to answer it. Tricky one. It's, why does God send people, if he's all loving and all powerful, why does God send people to an eternal torture in hell?
Yeah, well, it's understandable why people ask those questions, and of course God is more involved than what we might be aware. He does love us, and he's a loving God, but so often we kind of get caught up with these kind of questions because we don't understand them ourselves, and it's understandable, it is. But when we actually take a moment and think about what the question's asking, what's very interesting is that word torture never actually appears in the Bible. So that's something that other people have kind of added on at some point along the way. I don't know why, but it's so important to check it out for yourself and see what it really says. If I can do it, anyone can. But it does mention the word. It doesn't mention the word torture, but it does mention the word torment. Now, I'm not good with words either, but what's the word torment? Basically, how God seems to teach it to us is he shows us just how much he loves us. But when people go most of their lives and they want nothing to do with God, and then the end comes, and then they realise it is true. I believe it to be what the response would be like. What have I done? I've rejected God's great love toward me. Why have I done that? Because it's everything. Everything that our souls crave for is everything. Every good thing of who God is. Everyone wants to be loved, and everyone wants kindness, compassion, and grace. And I can't think of anywhere better to point to for that than Jesus. So if people reject that of their own choice, I believe that's the torment it's referring to. The torment, right? Not torment. Yeah. So. And
you said something else as well about the the nature of heaven being where Christ is as well. What did you say about that?
That's a great point. Yeah. So although most people, right, if you asked them, who wants to go to heaven, I think everyone will put their hand up. But if you asked them now, would you be willing to spend forever with God, to spend an eternity with God? I think the majority of people, or at least the ones I spoke to, but you're having a laugh, right? Not a chance, mate, and some of them might get quite foul about how they say it. So if they don't want to spend an eternity with God now, what would make them think they would want? I don't mean this in a nasty way, but why would they think they would want to spend an eternity with God in heaven? Because even a famous atheist said, heaven to me is hell because God is there. Now that's quite bad, that really. So if that actually adds to the character of who God is. He is not a forceful God. He will not force people to want to spend time with him. And me, with my experience with my family, when I try and force, they just want me to be there for them, and anytime I try and force things on them, they're like, not a chance, you're having a laugh. So it speaks about the character of who God is. He's a loving, gracious God, and at no point in life, sure, there's struggles, there's many things, there's many things that are real that we go through, but God is more intimately involved with us than what we might think, but through that, we can either ignore God and want nothing to do with God, or God can bring us through that each and every step of the way, and we will never come across a more gracious, loving God. And I believe it's rejecting that will cause the torment. And that makes more sense of who God is.
Brilliant, thanks Adam. And absolutely fantastic. And like you said, he's a gracious God, and he's one who honours our choices, doesn't force his will on us, and God doesn't send. That's the other problem with the question. God doesn't send anybody to hell. People choose to go there. He gives us all a choice, and I pray that everyone will choose heaven where God is. Thank you very much, Adam.
No, you're welcome.